Okay, so welcome to another episode of Unbelievable Reality. I'm Roy Arthur, your host, and today I actually get to have a little bit of fun. For those of you that have viewed my previous videos, I'm kind of serious about a bunch of stuff because there's a lot of shit going on right now that has me very worried as a citizen and as a human being. But today I'm going to have a little bit of fun with what has been an absolutely bizarre presidential election. It's just race, I guess, presidential race. It has just been crazy. I mean, we've had an assassination attempt, we've had the sitting president resign, we have the first Indian American woman or ethnic woman as candidate for president. I mean, fucking Donald Trump chose J.D. Vance as his pick for vice president because he was so absolutely assured that Biden was not going to drop out. He basically wanted to pick somebody that was the best yes man and ass kicker that he could find. Ass kisser he could find in the entire group of possible candidates that would want to team up with this fuck-all lunatic, and he chose J.D. Vance. He of three names, by the way. J.D. Vance is not actually his real name. He's changed his name 3 times. From his original name, which I didn't even bother to write down because I'm like, who fucking cares, to another name, and then finally settled on J.D. Vance. Yeah, you're manly. Yeah, that's right. You did what when you were in the service? Oh, that's right. You're a military journalist. Ooh, way to keep our country safe. But today, Kamala, and by the way, really fucking sick of the Republican Party mispronouncing her name as an insult. If you haven't figured out yet, she was Attorney General for the state of California, the 4th largest economy in the world. And there's 32 million people in that state alone. And before that, she was district attorney for San Francisco. She's an attorney that's used to prosecuting people. I don't really think insulting Kamala's gonna make a big fucking difference to her. If anything, it's only gonna piss her off more. And if I was you right now, Mr. Trump, I'd be very, very worried. Because I don't really think you really want to keep pissing this woman off. She is a legitimate certified badass, and today she made a brilliant choice for her nomination for her pick. I keep getting nomination, pick, candidate, all this fucking, it's confusing. Her pick for vice president, her running mate, is Tim Walz from the glorious state of Minnesota. Right smack dab in the Great Lakes region, and that includes Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, she made a brilliant pick. And not only did she make a brilliant pick because she did choose a 60-year-old, affable, easy to get along with white guy. I'm sure there was definitely that involved in the equation. How could there not be? Especially when there's this rabid right that pretty much, as I quoted earlier from A Vision of Hell, a previous podcast where I go into some great detail about the Republican National Convention in the Washington, what is it? This Washington Post. They described the Republican National Convention as a sea of white hair and white faces. And if that could not sum up the MAGA movement better in one phrase, I do not know. Because the MAGA movement is definitely old, white, racist as fuck, misogynistic, women ought to be in the kitchen without no shoes on, and that's just how it is. And we praise God on Sunday, and then I don't know what we do on the rest of the week, because it sure as fuck isn't godly works. But anyway, she made what I feel like is a brilliant choice, because she kind of had to on one end, and she chose somebody that's actually rational is a good communicator and has a fucking resume. Yeah, he's got a resume of public service. See, because he was a congressional representative for the state of Minnesota. So he was in the House before, and now he's a two-time governor of the state of Minnesota, in which he won his second election pretty much by a landslide. And even Republicans like this guy because the district he represented while he was a congressman was a Republican district in the state of Minnesota. So when they did their vetting, and he was a former high school teacher, I fucking love that. Maybe we finally will have somebody in higher office that will pay attention to our broken, traumatized educational system, where we're losing teachers at an unbelievable rate, and who can blame them? They make jack shit. I mean, you go to school for 6 years to get a degree in education, and then you start out at 36 grand a year? And these are the people that are in charge of educating our next generations? You wonder why they're taking up jobs fucking anywhere else? Anyway, back to Kamala and her choice. The Republicans are shitting a brick right now. A literal brick. I mean, big red brick. Brick. Hitting the floor, bang. The sound of a brick being shit, hitting the floor. That's what's happening right now in the Republican Party. It is a disaster. And what I love most about her pick of Tim Walz is, what are you going to come up with a nickname for this guy? Because that's really 90% of Donald Trump's game, is he likes to pick nicknames for other people to insult them. He loves that. Because he's a narcissistic, self-centered, egotistical, sack of shit bully who hasn't told the truth since he was born. And that probably his first words when he was born was, "How much is that?" i.e. can it be bought? Anyway, that was a bad joke. But hey, you know what? I know somebody else that's a podcaster who's a shitty comedian. His name's Joe Rogan. Sorry I had to do that, Joe. But oh my God, I actually watched part of your comedy show. And Joe, I got some advice for you, big guy. And I mean, look, you're a multifaceted guy. I mean, and you are kind of slightly scary and intimidating. And I would not want to be in a room with you if you were pissed at me. All those years of martial arts training and mixed martial arts training, I don't think it'd be a fair fight. So I'm just throwing that out there. But Joe, gotta tell you, you suck as a comic. Okay? You're terrible. One thing you did not get taught, one thing you did not learn, one skill you did not get born with is being a stand-up comic. So I know Netflix just dumped a whole bunch of money in your pocket to do your much vaunted special. But dude, when you're making jokes about Hillary Clinton and God forbid, Michelle Obama, I mean, what? And transgender people that you accept, but you really don't, because what was it you said? Something like there was some weird fairy god that came and waved a magic wand over America, and suddenly now everybody's woke. And you're definitely confused when it comes to what bathroom people should use. And if insulting transgender people is good comedy, I don't fucking want to go to that show. I don't think anybody else does either. But had to just kind of share that because, like I said, I'm having fun on this one because it's not all doom and gloom. For a Democratic Party that was on the ropes, Biden was going down like a meteor in the night sky. It was complete disarray, hopelessness just weeks ago. All was lost. Trump was giddy. He was gloating. He was doing his pig-headed, disgusting shit. Walking around going, look at me, look at me. I don't need a vice. Who cares who my vice president picks about? It's all about me. Nobody really cares about the vice president. Not that I'm 78 years old and suffering from mental illness, dementia, Alzheimer's. God only knows, because fuck, it's not like he's going to take a physical. What we do know is he's older than shit, older than dirt. And the chances of him tapping out before the end of his term, or actually being locked up in a lunatic asylum, are pretty high. So having good old author J.D. Vance, who wrote a shitty book about heritage that he has no connection to whatsoever, and trusting him with the nuclear codes when you tap out, brilliant choice. But you were so sure you had it in the bag, you said, fuck it, I'll pick whoever I want. And who I want is somebody that's going to tell me how great I am, and how great my hair looks, and how incredible I am, and how fair I am to women and minorities. And how I always put them first. And you know, really to remind me every day of how special I am in my unique relationship with my God and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm tearing up because the thought of Donald Trump walking into church is a death threat for the people that are inside. Because there's a pretty good chance that church is going to get hit by lightning and go up in smoke. Because it will be the first time he's been in a church. Nobody knows. Put it this way, he's not a churchgoer. So now the Republican Party is in complete disarray. They're losing their monkey. They have no idea what to do. They are just, their policy, their plan, their platform, of which there's none. They have no plan on governance, mind you. They're not going to fix anything other than he's going to stop the war in Ukraine the day he starts, because he loves Putin. He just said it in a rally just 2 days ago how much he thinks Vladimir Putin's really smart. Yeah, I mean, this dude that's killed like how many people now? We're in the hundreds of thousands of dead in a war for no reason other than aggression and wanting to prove you're a bad guy and to steal shit that doesn't belong to you. That makes you a good person? No, you're sack shit too, but that's why you two get along so well. I mean, like attracts like, right? Crazy loves crazy. There's two halves together. They certainly make a whole in the world of make-believe. Yeah, right on. So they've fallen back on insults, nicknames, just horrific shit, man. And one of the things that Tim Walz did before he got the nod to be the next vice presidential nominee was he was the one that came out with the term that the Republican Party is, quote, just weird. And man, did that dude nail it. I would vote for him just because he's finally the first person to verbalize how fucking weird the MAGA movement really is. It is weird. Weird. And weird doesn't even do it justice, but at least it's a good start. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy following crazy right over the edge of the cliff. If there was a bigger group of lemmings in our political history than the MAGA movement, it's never happened. Never has. He has cornered fanatics. Fanaticism, DT has nailed that to a T. Oh, that is, yeah. Maybe I should sell that to the Democratic Party. DT's nailed it to a T. That's fucking catchy. I like it. Anyway. So yeah, today, Kamala is her correct pronunciation. Even I struggle with it because nobody's bothered to explain it to us because she was in relative obscurity for 4 years. To this day, I don't fucking understand why. The lady is beyond capable, educated, smart, and definitely not afraid. And that's why Donald Trump has decided to back out of the September 10th debate, because It's on ABC News, and they're biased against him, and he sued them for libel because they're bad. They're nasty. Just like that poor reporter that he called nasty when he was talking to the Black Journalists Association and basically imploded and said beyond racist, misogynistic bullshit to a group of black journalists when he was there to win them over. I'm pretty sure he didn't win over any converts when he was there. As a matter of fact, he was supposed to talk for an hour. They nicked him at 32 minutes. 50%. And they were like, fucking done enough. Don. Okay? Donnie, trot your ass off the stage. We don't want to hear any more of your fucking insanity. Power move on their part. Way to go, kudos, way to stand up against the classroom bully that gets to get what he really needs is to get his dick knocked in the dirt. And he's got the perfect opponent. Because Kamala is not going to be knocked down. She is not going to back down. She cannot be intimidated. You can't talk over her, and you are most definitely not as smart as her. That is a given. So what do? Well, what he's doing, tucking tail and running. And making every excuse in the world not to go on national TV and debate our vice president, Miss Harris. He don't want to do it. And you know what? I can't blame him. Because I wouldn't want to walk into that arena knowing that I was going to get the shit kicked out of me either. But he can't even deal with that. I mean, can you imagine? I think his head would actually explode on live TV, national coverage, because he's getting the living shit whooped out of him by a woman for all to see. And if that isn't Donald Trump's biggest fear, I don't know what is. And humiliation. So yeah, in today, once again, in this absolutely bonkers presidential election cycle that just keeps getting stranger by the day, it does appear that there might actually be hope for people that are rational, that actually want to see their children grow up in a healthier world and have good educations and really do care about trying to support people that are less fortunate and maybe out of a job or living on the streets and don't have anywhere to go or suffering from mental illness or addiction or any of those common sense things that, well, I don't know, they teach supposedly teach in the Christian religion. Oh, and by the way, 98% of the MAGA party is Christian. Don't got a lot of Buddhists or Muslims or pretty much any religion in the MAGA party. If you're not Christian, you're not in. That's how it works, okay? And preferably you'd be white Christian, okay? Yeah. Okie dokie. I don't know. But for us folks, and I make no, look, I'm gonna be blunt. I am a liberal Democrat, period. Registered as an independent because I reserve the right to decide who I want to vote for based on their merits. I'm a huge believer that sometime in the future this country needs a third political party that's legit. But that's a topic for another day. Right now all we got is harebrained schemes and none of them come to fruition. But now we have a legitimate chance and a hope for a sane administration that won't feed us bullshit about waves of immigrants crashing upon our southern border that are all rapists, drug dealers, the dredges of humanity, blah, blah, blah. that won't have us trying to, I don't know, overturn Roe v. Wade or crushing women's rights. We have hope. If you're a woman in the United States of America and you don't cast a vote for Kamala in this upcoming election, look in the mirror and ask yourself, really, do you care about women, yourself included, your sisters, your friends? I mean, come on. Project 2025, even though they discredited, they're trying to run in the other direction as quickly as their little hot little fat little feet, because Donnie's got little hands, he's got little feet too. As fast as they will carry him away from that ideology is the bedrock of their platform, their nebulous, ever-changing platform. So, for me, today turned out to be a pretty happy fucking day. Because she made a smart, educated, strategic choice. And she did it in a timely manner. Because she's decisive. And she's powerful. And she is fully ready for the moment. Everything has led her here. And the rest of this next 90-some days is gonna be... It's going to be even more unbelievable than what was already unbelievable and part of our reality. Closing note, if I'm the Democrats, man, all you want is for J-Day, and Donnie to keep fucking talking. Just keep talking. Just keep showing the crazy, man. Just talk yourself right into that grave. The end of your political careers. Because that's all the Democrats really need to do. They don't really need to convince a lot of people. They need to shut up, get out of the way, talk policy, talk the things they're gonna do, come up with a real plan with facts involved, and then just let Donnie Boy be Donnie Boy. He'll do the rest for you. Anyway. Look forward to a new episode in a few days. I am going to go have a nice cup of tea and gloat.